The most important moment of your day isn't a meeting, it isn't a workout, it isn't a conversation with your boss or a decision at work. It's the moment your alarm goes off. Right there in that 5-second window, before the world asks anything of you, before excuses have fully formed, before your brain has built its defense, you make a choice. And that choice tells your brain exactly what kind of person you are. Most people get it wrong before breakfast. Think about what the average morning looks like. Alarm goes off, hit snooze, pick up the phone, scroll for 20 minutes, stumble to the kitchen, reactive, distracted, already behind, and they wonder why the rest of the day feels like they're playing catch up. Here's what they don't realize. Those first actions, before coffee, before conversation, before the world starts demanding things, are programming your brain. Every morning you hit snooze, you teach your mind that discomfort wins. Every morning you grab your phone before your feet hit the floor, you hand control of your attention to someone else. You're not just losing time, you're training yourself to be weak. And that training compounds. Every single day, David Goggins doesn't talk about morning routines the way most people do. He doesn't talk about journaling and green smoothies. He talks about war, because that's what it actually is. The moment your alarm goes off, you are at war with the version of yourself that wants comfort, that wants 5 more minutes, that whispers, you've earned some rest, the hustle can wait. That voice isn't your friend, it's your ceiling. And here's what most people never understand. That voice gets louder the more you ignore it. Every morning you give in, it grows more convincing, more detailed, more reasonable sounding, until one day you're not even fighting it anymore. You've just accepted it. That's how people end up average. Not one dramatic failure, 1,000 quiet surrenders before sunrise. Here's what the morning actually controls, and most people have no idea. It's not just the first hour. The way you start your day sets the psychological tone for every decision that follows. When you win the morning, when you get up without negotiating, when you move before the resistance has time to build a case, you carry that momentum forward, unconsciously, automatically. You make better choices at lunch. You push harder in the afternoon. You don't fold under pressure at 6 p.m. the way you would have if the day started in defeat, but flip it. Start the morning in compromise. Snooze, scroll, drift, and that energy follows you too. You feel slightly off track, slightly behind yourself. And in that state, every other decision of the day becomes easier to get wrong. You order the bad meal because willpower is already depleted. You skip the workout because momentum never built. You say yes to distraction because focus never had a chance to set in. It's a domino effect. And the first domino every single day is that 5-second moment when the alarm goes off. You either knock it in the right direction or the wrong one, but it falls either way. Here's the science behind it. When you force yourself to act despite discomfort, especially in those first raw moments of the day, your prefrontal cortex strengthens. That's the part of your brain responsible for discipline, focus, and long-term decision-making. In other words, winning the morning literally builds a stronger brain. Every time you rise when your body begs you to stay, you're laying down a neural pathway. You're wiring in a new standard. And over time, that standard becomes automatic. Discipline stops being something you summon. It becomes something you are. But this only works through repetition. One heroic morning changes nothing. It's the accumulation, day after day, especially on the days you least want to, that rewires you. The alarm clock isn't your enemy. The snooze button isn't your enemy. You are your enemy. Specifically, the version of you that negotiates with weakness the moment consciousness returns. That version is incredibly persuasive. It knows exactly what to say. It knows your schedule, your stress, your excuses. It will construct a perfectly logical case for why today is an exception. You're tired. You worked hard yesterday. One slow morning won't hurt. And it's right. One slow morning won't hurt. But that's not what's actually happening. What's happening is a pattern, a habit being reinforced, an identity being built brick by brick in the wrong direction. The longer you wait to break it, the harder the mind fights to keep it. So what do you actually do? 3 steps every single morning. Step 1, catch it immediately. The moment your mind starts bargaining, just 5 more minutes, I'll start after breakfast, I'll do it tomorrow. Recognize it for what it is. Not logic, not self-care, a trap, an old pattern trying to survive. Awareness is everything. You can't fight what you can't see. Step 2, name the lie out loud if you have to. That's not rest I need. That's avoidance I'm choosing. Because the moment you call it what it is, it loses its disguise. And the lie without its disguise has no power. Step 3, move before you think. Don't debate it. Don't negotiate. Don't wait for motivation to arrive. Feet on the floor. Now. Not when you feel ready, not when the resistance fades, before it does, because the resistance never fully fades. You just get better at moving through it. Nobody sees your morning. That's the part people forget. No one is watching when the alarm goes off. No one is tracking whether you got up or hit snooze. No one gives you credit for the 5 a.m. decision. No one punishes you for the compromise. It's just you, alone, in the dark. And that's exactly why it matters so much. Because the person you are when no one is watching, that is the truest version of you, not the version that performs in public, that shows up polished and disciplined when there's an audience. The version that exists in the private moments, the 5 a.m. moments, the moments that never make it to a highlight reel. Those moments are building something, whether you intend them to or not. Every morning you rise without negotiating. You are quietly, invisibly building a person who does not fold. Every morning you choose discipline before the world demands it. You are writing a story about who you are. And that story doesn't stay in the morning. It follows you through every room, every challenge, every moment that tests you for the rest of the day. The world eventually sees the result, but it never sees the work. That work happens in the dark, in the silence, in the 5 seconds before your feet hit the floor. Make those seconds count. Here's what nobody tells you about mastering your mornings. It bleeds into everything. The discipline you build at 5 a.m. shows up in your work at noon. The standard you set before sunrise shapes the decisions you make at midnight. The version of yourself you choose to be when no one is watching, that version carries through every interaction, every challenge, every moment that tests you throughout the day. Because your brain remembers. It keeps score. Every morning you rise and act, you send a message. I am in control. And that message echoes. Your focus sharpens. Your confidence builds. Your tolerance for discomfort increases. Problems that used to overwhelm you start feeling manageable. Not because they got smaller, but because you got bigger. This is how mental toughness compounds. Not in dramatic moments, in quiet ones. In the ones nobody sees. Goggins didn't build his mind in races. He built it in bedrooms. In the moments before 4 a.m. when nobody was watching and every cell in his body said stay, he rose anyway, moved anyway, pushed anyway, not once, not occasionally, every day, until it wasn't a battle anymore, until rising into discomfort was simply who he was. That's the standard, not perfection, not superhuman ability. Just refusing to let comfort make decisions for you. And here's what most people miss about Goggins. He didn't start there. He built there, rep by rep, morning by morning, 1 5-second decision at a time. The same path is open to you. Consistency is the weapon, not talent, not timing, not circumstances. The relentless, unglamorous, unsexy commitment to showing up, especially when you don't feel like it, is what separates the people who dream from the people who build. One heroic morning means nothing. 1,000 ordinary mornings where you chose discipline over comfort. That means everything. So here's your moment. Tomorrow morning, when that alarm goes off, when the familiar pull of comfort arrives right-o, in schedule, you'll have a choice. You can hand control to the voice that wants easy, or you can send your brain a different signal, a signal that says, not today, today I'm in charge. That signal repeated daily becomes a standard. That standard, lived consistently, becomes an identity. That identity, built morning by morning, becomes a life most people only dream about. Claim your mornings. The rest will follow. If this fired you up, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on notifications. New content every week, built to push you to the next level.